Live.
Welcome to another unauthorized and rum-fueled treasure hunt in the sharky waters surrounding Gatsby Islands with Queen Raae. I'm your host, Captain Olavea, and today's guest is the great and powerful Cam Sloan.
Where's the Tinkerbell tasker? And get the child to be quiet.
She's saying you have to say that you have two more guests. And I'm guessing that's Pricky and what's Woffen.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Okay, we're all close up now. So what? I can never remember the sequence of this, which is so funny. We are going to integrate Hopscotch, which is Cam's product, into our Prune Your Follows project. And I need to just get set up a little bit because I didn't prep properly for that. So let me do that. Well, see, this is I'm going to throw it to you, even though I said I would do it later. What's Hopscotch?
So Hopscotch it primarily helps you build product tours. And if you're not familiar with what that is, it is a way to help onboard users into your SaaS app and just get people up to speed and figure out, what they should be doing quickly and kind of just like figure it out themselves, because we can't always be there to hold their hand on a demo call and stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of the basis.
Cool. Good one. Okay, I'm soon ready here to show you exactly what we're going to do. And then we're going to recreate it as soon as I can share my screen. And I am sharing. No, I'm not sharing. Add to stream. Okay, we are good. We are good to go. So this is inside of the project. I am now running the Prune Your Follows and a local host. Oh, but I'm not on the correct thing, because if I do preview now, I don't have the script in there. See, I was going to do a how, but now we're not going to see what. But here, we're now going to, after we're done, we're going to get these little interactive tour. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And the how, we're going to show you pretty soon. Yeah? How? So I messed up my what. I was going to show you exactly what we were going to do, and then I was on the wrong branch. That happens.
Yeah. If you go to hopscotch.club, we could probably just show the top demo there.
Hey, this is you're a good guest like that.
So if you go to show demo, then this is kind of, they'll come in and, guide your users, kind of highlight certain points that you may be interested in and show them kind of, like what they should be doing to get started. And really just aiming to familiarize your users with your product and get not only just like about the product, but like how to do what they came to do. Like, what is the problem they're solving? Help them get to that a little bit quicker.
So how did you come up with that idea?
So it was a couple years ago. I was actually just having beers in a park with a friend, and he's a founder as well, and we actually started on Hopscotch together originally, but he already had a company, so I ended up inheriting Hopscotch. But basically just, we had both talked about this problem and like noticing the other solutions that are out there. Like Intercom has product tours, but then you're kind of stuck with like this giant intercom bill, but then also just the whole ecosystem of intercom. Just thought, there's probably some room in here. It's also like a pretty new kind of market. Like not everyone is familiar or using tools like this, so it's a growing space. And as a developer, I found like, this could be a very interesting technical problem to solve as well. But I don't think that's enough to like run a business with. As soon as I started working on it, I started realizing like, there's actually a lot of interesting kind of people challenges, and the human side of this is actually quite interesting for onboarding users and, gaining product adoption and all that. So it's kept my interest for the past couple of years.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, keeping up interest in your project, not always easy.
Definitely not. Yeah.
Seem to have, when I'm like looking like this, it looks like I'm looking at the screen, but I'm actually looking at you people. So just a FYI on that. So yeah, I tried it out a little bit earlier, and we're gonna do
Oh, you're muted now, I think. You may have hit
I hit my mute. So I tried it a little bit earlier today, and what I really liked was that you had like a what's called like an empty screen design. So when I was here with no tours, you actually had this little information about how you install on that kind of empty screen. So I really appreciated that. So I really, and I understood quite quickly, like you always need a little bit of a script if something like you're kind of hijacking the page. So like obviously we'll need to insert some kind of script. And long while back, I wrote about all the ways you can add third-party scripts to Gatsby site, which is now outdated because they have gotten something they call the script tag. So these are the 3 other ways you could have done this before, but today we're going to use the new Gatsby script tag.
Nice.
And for this app, it's pretty simple as well because I only have one page, which is the app. So you kind of have the login page where I kind of don't want the product tour, even though you have the product tour on the front page. I kind of only want it for logged in users. And then you go to the app. This is the app page. And so that's kind of the only place we really need it. So we can use this Gatsby script. But what I saw, it's not just calling out to a script on your servers. There's actually like code in there because it's like it's doing things,
right? It is doing some things.
So like I think that would be like the inline script because it's just
the dangerously set inner HTML. I guess you can use that.
So it seems like you could do it either this way or with string literals. I'm gonna make this bigger.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Oh, okay. String literal.
So I think we're gonna try and go for this one. So we'll just copy the script, jump on over to our app page. Okay.
Yeah, and actually, just one thing about the script and what is that code in there doing? That like, why do we not just call out and fetch a script remotely? Breaking it down is kind of I believe it's called a queue pattern, but basically like what's going to happen is it's going to set window.hopscotch to exist, and then any calls that get made, even if the script isn't loaded, because it's asynchronous, it's going to put all those calls into a queue of like, okay, hopscotch was called with like these properties or these values. And then once it is initialized, let's say there were like 3 calls, it's going to work through that queue and then actually execute them. Whereas, if you were just making the remote script and then someone called window.hopscotch before it was loaded, well, you could have an error on the page. And so, this kind of helps prevent that. You'll see this in a number of scripts that are like third-party scripts. It's a common pattern that is a good one if you're ever building third-party JS. It's an unexplored world in many ways. Like there's no real best practices around it. You just got to dig through how other people are doing it. So it was an interesting find setting that up.
I like the sound of that you don't have, because I've often had to do like, is it available? Like, does hopscotch assist before you start doing thing? Or like you end up setting these like weird timeouts to like make sure, or like an unload script, or like there's many ways of doing it. But that was a good explanation of why you've chosen to do it this way. So now we have the script. And like, I think we're done. We're just like, this is going to be the shortest stream in the world.
But the setting up is definitely, we aim for that to be the easy part. though it's
Yeah.
not always, because like we also cater to non-technical audiences, and so that can be still a challenge. Like in our own onboarding, even being an onboarding tool, that is where a lot of people fall off. We notice. So yeah, it's an interesting interesting part of running an onboarding business. You have your own onboarding challenges.
Yeah, we all have onboarding. I think you're never done with onboarding, right? It's like an ever-ending thing. So I guess what I want to say here, though, like it's quite simple, but like, okay, let's do some pruning. Want to show them these filters that you can like filter on different categories. And then also that, because that's a little bit weird with Prune Your Follows at the moment. It's like you kind of have to open that person and then, or that account, and then do unfollow on Twitter. So that could be like a good shout out to like let people know that that's what they need to do. And I think you had like a little, I could like click around in my own page.
Yeah, that's right. So as long as you get the URL for where that is, then yeah, we can go and kind of do like Chrome Inspector style. And if you switch to pointer mode, because you may want to navigate first, but yeah, then it will highlight these elements. And yeah, this is especially useful for people who don't know a lot of CSS or, coding. But you can kind of highlight over the element, click it, and then we're going to pick that. And then that will be the part that we choose to highlight. I do recommend, like, if people are setting this up, that it's always good to use something that you know is going to be consistent. Like what we just grabbed is obviously going to grab the first element that is like BG White and MX Auto. And if you add that to something else, then it could change and have unexpected results. So always like a good idea to use, I don't know, a data attribute or an ID if possible. But that's not always possible because people don't want to, go ask their developers to make changes to the product. So this can be a good way of just like testing quickly. Yeah.
And you can get, like, if you know a little bit of CSS, like we could get, so everybody can see now that this is Tailwind, since it had all of those Tailwind type classes on them. But I think also if we kind of look at it, like there's a tab list role on this, which is kind of more specific because there probably won't be like that many tab lists in a page. But what you said, I kind of like.
One thing you can do on there is like if you right click that element and then copy, go down to scroll to copy. And then it has the what is it?
Copy selector.
Selector. Thank you. Yeah, and then that will usually get you the most like unique selector as well, I believe.
Whoa.
So that's a good one that I recommend as well for people.
I didn't know I could copy the selector like that. Like, you always learn something
until
new.
I started with Hopscotch and needed to do it very often.
But we can also just be then, like, since we do own this ourselves and we are developers, I could go here to count tabs and like put it. I don't know. Do IDs carry over? Because this is like headless UI something. Let's try tabs.
That's a good question. Tab.group. I think that one.
Oh yeah, ID tab. So they made sure to carry it over. So let's do tabs then, because then that would be then if I change the markup, I can, as long as I keep this ID tabs, it's going to be pointing to the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. I always recommend that, especially if you're having something that's going to live in there kind of long term. Then yeah, you change the styles and then you lose everything like that. That's not a life we want to live. We want
to be like, I want the beige background, then suddenly everything is gone, right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So let's do stream. Save. And then, because I noticed this was like super cool. Oh, no, there wasn't there. I don't know what I did. Okay. This little preview thing. And then I can open. And it kind of starts. Look at that.
There we go.
And then
that's always
show me
the moment of truth.
Whoa, look at this. I like it.
Yeah, it's great.
I like it.
Definitely, I gotta say, like, why would you use a tool like Hopscotch versus building this yourself? I
Because it would
encourage
take
you
me
to go try.
a couple of
Yeah.
weeks.
It takes a long time, and there's a lot to like finding the element properly and making sure that you're actually highlighting it in the right space. And if you're adjusting the screen size, like if you have it on different screen sizes, wanting to grab that properly still. So that's one reason. But also, yeah, there's some other tricks that we may get into later for just your targeting of who's going to see this, and just making sure that people who've already seen the tour don't see it again. That kind of stuff is only really possible through, like, you generally can't do that with just a React library. Even if you reach for like a React tour or something like that, then yeah, it doesn't necessarily give you the tools for controlling who sees it and when. And there's a little bit after we build out a couple steps here, we can also take a look at that.
So let's point to this element. Let's do our selector here. It's going to be this H. No, we wanted to point to like the whole thing. I think I have a list element here, so this should be quite nice. Where was it again? Element? No, copy selector.
Yeah, copy selector.
Let's see what we get. We get a lot of, ooh, but we could just do like a section, UL. Yeah, this should be enough, like main section UL. And then I guess if I just do a list element, it's going to grab the first one, or will it like do all of them?
That should grab the first one. Yeah.
Okay, so let's open it again. Okay, let's unfollow. Show me. Boom. Filter of follows. Ah, what happened to it? It's gone.
Yeah, so maybe it didn't grab it properly. Might not have.
I might have saved.
We might have the CSS selector not grabbing. If we want to test that selector in just the console, we could see what that looks like to see if it actually comes up with an element.
Oh, how do I do that? Like, I haven't worked.
Yeah, so if we go in here and then we just do a document get element.
Oh yeah, like that.
Not ID, but oh man, it's escaping.
Document. Find child? No, find first element child.
Query selector is what I was trying to come up with. Yeah, so just query selector. And you can just put in that selector.
UL and then a LI. Yeah, that's
so that one is there. So let's see. I think we had it slightly different before, so maybe that was all we needed to change.
Yeah, or maybe I didn't save it properly.
ULLI looks good. Saving.
Let's see.
Looks good.
Okay, let's open again. It's always fun to talk. It says 2 out of 3. Oh, look! I was like, it was so natural. I was like waiting for that. I like how, can I customize the call out color? Like the what's blue now? Can I customize that?
Yeah, we can change all that. So let me just pull up. You can initialize. That's another thing you can do with the script is initialize it. So let me just see here.
Okay, who should see this? Everyone, custom out. How many times should this tour be shown to visitor? Once per visitor session, never, always. I like how you preface for debugging purposes.
yeah, like, or just for annoying your users, I guess.
Yeah.
If you really want to just show them something all the time. Then
so where do you store the information about if it's seen or not?
So
storage or
at the moment, this is using local storage. So if we want to pop in and check that out, it is kind of cool to get into that sometimes. we're working on like a server-side solution to this as well, because there are times where you would want to track across devices, say your users on multiple devices. But yeah, if we go in there and then we have a hopscotch, you can see scene tours, hopscotch app scene tours. And so that's going to keep track of the state of like which ones have been seen, and then we wouldn't show them again. And then down below that, quite a bit, the third or fourth last one, there's this custom properties.
First scene.
Yeah,
current
first
date.
scene, current date. And you can actually set your own custom properties as well. You can call hopscotch and identify with an identify flag. And so if you had some information from your server that you wanted to say like, oh, my user ID or what segment of customer this is, then you can filter on that and say, oh, I only want to show this to customers in my, I don't know, freemium segment, because customers in the pro segment, we're onboarding them manually. And so this is where you kind of come up with your filter building. Here. So
that's I could go to custom audience and then select on something that I've set in addition to the ones that you have.
Exactly. There are some here, and we can even jump into that pretty quickly as well. Like we can do a test one. Let's see. If you click that, select filter, and then custom property.
She said, "Can I have the scissors?"
I don't know what's going to be happening. She's going to be pruning some followers.
Oh, nice. Cut them out.
Yeah, cut them out. Custom property. Oh, because then we need to use the identify.
Exactly. And so this is available on the window. Like we said at the start, we're initializing window.hopscotch. I mean, you can even go into the console to just do that.
Yeah, just do the hopscotch. Property.
Yeah, so you can do hopscotch. And then
it's a function, yeah.
Right. So yeah, it's kind of it's not a dot, it's actually going to be hopscotch the function, you call it, and then the first argument will be the string identify.
I need to copy paste, so let me copy paste. I cannot spell. I'm pretty sure I can't spell identify. Okay, there we go.
There. And then the second argument is just an object, and it can have whatever you would like in there to be like name, Benedicta, and make Queen. That a string, and
there we go.
There you go. Yeah, that's what I meant. And so you could do that. And then now when we come back into hopscotch, we can see it's already updated. So we have name there.
Wow. And then I can just be like equals Queen. Then you get like, you are awesome, Queen.
Yeah. And so we have it set to check if it's a string or a number or a date or a true or false, like Boolean. So and depending on what you choose there, then it will show you different operators here.
Yeah. Cool. How do you notice what kind of property it is? Just from the JavaScript, or?
When we send it up to the backend, just to say, like, we don't actually send the value. We don't store the values, but we just say what kind of value is this, and then send that to the backend to store that and say like, okay, we do have this name property as a custom property, and then check and for dates. I think we do it because we convert it. You have to send it as an ISO string. So there's we just check, is it a valid date? And then
okay.
If so, then we would announce it.
Then it is a date. So kind of what I'm also hearing here, that until you do the server side thing as well, like it's actually very privacy friendly, because you don't send the value. So you just say that there's a name property, but then the name value is only stored in the local storage. So you never really get any of the information about the users.
Yeah, that was kind of like one of the early decisions for two reasons. Like one, privacy and being able to have that option to keep it like within the user's machine. Yeah, then you don't have to worry about my servers and such. But there's definitely a number of customers that are wanting to store those types of values to have it more across devices. Also, just one reason for not doing it in the beginning was because, yeah, like tracking all these events and storing all that data, it's just a lot more technical complexity in the beginning. And so, yeah, it's just something that we launched with, and it works well for most people. Like if a user happens to see their tour on another device for a second time, it's not the end of the world generally. Ever, actually. It's never, and so, yeah, that's kind of why we rolled.
You're saying people are jumping around using 30 different devices?
Yeah, I mean, maybe they are.
Maybe they are. But this means I could actually use it for POW, which is actually quite interesting because I need better onboarding there in the future. But I'm not wanting to use any of these like tools, like you say, intercom and stuff like that, because they just track everything. Like you never know. Like they just like, I don't know, some of those tools like just, oh, I'm just gonna stream a video of what my users are doing. Like you never. I'm so surprised by how much like they often default into doing for you, and obviously because customers kind of want those kinds of features, but also it's weird when you see these tools when you have a little bit of a privacy mindset and they're like, you can say a video of your user's session. I'm like, that's pretty freaky.
Yeah,
So yeah, I like that. I like that it's all just like for the user, and that's perfect.
Yeah, if we go to server side, then it will definitely be kept as an option.
We have a hi in the chat.
Hello.
Yes.
So hi. He was here last week as well, wasn't? I think so. Welcome back. Welcome back. We are integrating Hopscotch with our Gatsby site. Prune follows. So yes, so we could do this. I'm not going to do it because it's not really, it's not how like. But what would be a good use case for this? Like informing somebody of new features, I guess. Like if they're popping back, last seen. Like if we'd last seen them a month ago and we've had some new features, then we could show them the tour again. Do you have any other like good uses you've seen?
Yeah, one of the biggest uses is like, is my user logged in? And so I think you even mentioned that, of just saying like, do we already have Twitter token saved or whatever? And because otherwise it would just try to show it right away. And if you don't have access to the tweets yet, then that would be, yeah, it would fail to show. And so, yeah, that's one use case. You can just, set from the front end, say like hopscotch identify token is loaded, and that could be true or false. Or user is user exists.
Because we have this overlay that is, because I have this fetching overlay because it's all done, nothing is done like in the background. So I have a fetching overlay that is kind of showing until all of the people have been imported. The first time they're all been imported. So what you're saying here is like when that's done, so when private last fetched is no longer exists, that's when I do hopscotch identify with like ready or something, and then that's when I want to show the tour, and not while they're waiting for things to happen.
Yeah, because the if you just have it like, say that you went back to your unauthorized or unauthenticated state with Twitter right now, like Hopscotch would load and be like, oh, I have a tour to show, because like they've never seen this, and but then it would try to show it and fail to find the correct elements likely, and so it would just, the user wouldn't see that after either. And so, yeah, that's why, as opposed to like, another option you could do is defer the loading of the script until then, but you may be missing out on like other like you may,
because that was kind of like that was my initial thought. But since you were saying that with the script, like Hopscotch is always available on the window, and then you queue things up, so I can just call it at any point, and then as soon as it loads. So even if my authentication happens late or early, then Hopscotch will grab that.
Exactly.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's just going to check pretty often to say like, okay, are we, ready to go get a new script? Like if it's not polling necessarily, I believe it's just looking for route changes, and then maybe there is a polling, I can't remember, to be like, if you authenticated, then it should show the Hopscotch tour right away after that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I think it's because I'm going to be refactoring this moving forward, and I think actually I'm going to have more. I'm not going to just do an overlay. I'm going to have like a loading page instead, and then kick people over to the app once everything is ready. So I don't think I would need it, but as it is now, like obviously with a big kind of overlay, it wouldn't it wouldn't be good, because then I'm guessing like the tour would kind of come over or under, like it will mess up also.
Yeah,
like how it's
yeah,
gonna...
you would definitely. That's one of our technical support requests that comes in, of just trying to figure that kind of thing out. Why is it showing when
Why isn't it showing?
I'm not logged in? Yeah, exactly.
Since this was like, usually we have like a lot of time to like chit chat about other things because we are rebuilding Gatsby and it takes forever installing packages. But today we didn't. But we would love to know some more about, like, is this your only thing, or are you also working on other things? Like, what's your background or
For sure.
situation?
Yeah, I mean, just like right now, I'm juggling between Hopscotch and some contract/consulting work. I have actually done a lot of freelancing in the Gatsby space as well.
Oh, cool.
For just like larger customers that use Gatsby. So I'll go and help kind of as an embedded team member for a chunk of time, and quite familiar with Gatsby myself, though I haven't used a lot of the later, like the newer features recently. But yeah, I went independent in 2019. Got laid off from a job along with like basically everyone in the company. That was like a funded startup, and kind of it just got me onto this whole like, you think that you have stability and all this from your job, but realizing that you don't necessarily. And so
feels like these funded startups are the ones that are like, they hire and fire, like like,
it grew quick, and then it all got taken away, swept away pretty quickly as well. So that led me to deciding, well, okay, I can try and do my own thing, find some clients. I did manage to find some clients that year, and like it's kind of been a game changer for just being able to live my life a little more with flexibility of like, setting my own schedule and working when I like to and want to, and that kind of thing. So it's definitely been like the right call. I remember being extremely nervous and scared, like, will I even be able to support myself doing this? And then you've realized that people need developers, and they once they find out that you are available and you're a developer, then it's I don't know, the clients can come pretty easily.
So do you
have a good network?
Do you feel unsafe now?
No, I think like honestly that stress is quite gone. It's been a few years now, and the stress of like, okay, can I find my next client? That's definitely gone. I think there are some keys to making that work, though. It's like making sure you charge enough for any engagement. Like it's easy to get sucked into, oh, I just like need to find this new client, and so you undercharge them, and then you don't have enough to like get you through to the next engagement, and so being able to like set yourself up to have time in between is like pretty important, to make sure that you don't need to be working 40 hours per week on projects, because like when will you go find new customers and new clients? Like if you are always like, if your billing is set up to make it so you have to be booked 20 or not 24/7 but 40 hours a week, it just isn't possible.
I think the gurus call it, you need to work like on your business, not just in your business.
The classic.
The classic.
But it's very interesting because
on my shoulder. No.
It's very interesting because people think that when they're working for somebody else that they're safe, but there's this book about it, which is it's called anti-fragile, and this guy he's basically saying that you're safe there at your job in the bank or whatever, as a developer, but it's super fragile, because the moment the bank runs into some kind of trouble, they're not going to fire themselves, they're going to fire you. and it's the same in your own business. You're in your own business, and the last person you're going to fire is yourself. You, like you said, you're like, okay, I need to get some clients, and then you do it, you get some clients, whereas the bank is like, oh no, we're getting into some trouble here. Instead of trying to fix the problems, they're like, okay, you're fired, you go away.
Everyone's gone.
But you when in your own business, you're like, okay, got some problems, need to fix them, and then you fix it. So he calls that anti-fragility, and actually his example is taxi driver. Because so but of course you're more attractive as a developer than a taxi driver, but
right now at least. I think's changed, but right now we're doing pretty good as a profession, being able to do
GitHub code spaces or whatever takes over our,
GitHub Copilot.
That's the one. It just writes everything for us.
I mean, think about all the things we don't write anymore. Like,
100%.
I have no idea about Webpack. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's so nice to be able to. Web development gets easier and easier in many ways, like each year. Like from definitely, when I started and you had to get into Webpack, it like just to set up a new project, you had to be messing around with Webpack for days, because it's like so confusing, and now it's all like got the same defaults, just like really great defaults built in, and you just override when needed. I actually really love that as a pattern throughout most software development, is just trying to set up really good defaults, and then having the option to like extend or like dive deeper into it and really like configure things when needed. And it's something that is useful for almost any type of product that you're building, to make it, again, kind of it's an onboarding challenge right there. Like developers face onboarding challenges too when coming into new projects, into new code bases, a new npm package that you're downloading. Like if you don't have the right docs or just like the right defaults, how we got Hopscotch up and running in a matter of a couple minutes, like that is just, we could have made it so that you have to configure all these things, like your theme and your colors and all this stuff, and then you have to set these, but like that's stuff that can kind of come down the road, and you can just like wait for people to see that first spark, that first like aha moment, as they say, and just like, oh wow, I get this, and now I want to do more with it. And so that's when you can kind of let them override and configure, but like let it, like I always think, if you can try and make it as easy to get started with things as possible. That's something that working in the onboarding space has definitely taught me.
So you said one of the big tips is not having people having to do a lot of configuration and things before like getting that first win. Like we got our product tour, and I think another thing that you're doing there is it works in localhost. Like I could preview it in my development environment instead of having to like, because first I imagined I had to deploy it to some like proper preview URL or somewhere to be able to do it, but it works. I can just open it in my local dev environment, and then it's like, oh yeah, this works. Like we did it in like less than half an hour. We got it, and no, less than like 10 minutes, because all the other time we've been talking.
I even want to go a step further than that in the coming months, and because some users, they come to Hopscotch and they're not technical, or they have a development team. Often they have, I don't know, maybe offshore developers. And so anytime that they need to like, add a script or something, that is hiring someone else to do that, or like taking time away from the developers working on the product. And like, yes, you're going to need to do that eventually, but like to see if Hopscotch works for you and does what you want, it would be nice to not have to rely on that. So looking at
Yeah.
even adding a Chrome extension so that you could, or just a browser extension, so you can add that as the product manager, it would kind of fake having the script in your site, and you could just like start building the tours and be like, okay, now it's time to deploy, and then we can go and get the developers to do it. But I already have a good idea, like, because that's where I said earlier, like we get some fall off with like people coming into the product if they're a non-technical user, which often is the case. I know for like small projects where, you know, solo developer or whatever, it's easy to do everything. But yeah, often the customers that are really facing onboarding challenges at scale are teams, and you have a product owner, and then you have the product marketing manager, and then you have the, you know, devs, and trying to get everyone on the same page is it can be multiple weeks of just like getting time to put that into a sprint for people. And so as much as we can unblock that, you know, that can get people up and running a lot faster. So that's
also, I'm just guessing that, you know, I'm the developer here on this website, and I think it's great, or on the app. You don't need to, you know,
don't need no onboarding.
Onboarding for this. This is, you know, the thing after sliced bread is great. You know, and then just me coming up with the idea, yes, let's do some onboarding. No, I'm not the first guy to come up with that, you know. It's I made it. You know, I just go in there and use it. So yeah.
There's definitely, I think there's a really large percentage of people who doesn't, you know, who just like would be, I don't want to use an onboarding tool, get these things out of my way. And I think that's true for a lot of people. I tend not to use them either at first, because like, but this is the thing, is like, not everyone is a developer. Not everyone else is like super technical and knows how to get started with things. If you're building an app that is for, I don't know, just like some non-tech savvy group, and you want to get them up and running quickly, then yeah, sometimes it's needed. And I think often people will like get rid of the tours quickly, and then they want it later. Like they want it when it's they may need that information later, but they just X'd out of it already. And so a pattern that I kind of recommend for that is to have a button or something in your app that says like, you know, show me how to get started, or show me like a tour, and that's going to kind of just like get them that's just going to give them the option to see it when they need it, because you could maybe have it show by default, or you could also just not have it ever show automatically, and then just have it as an opt-in thing. And kind of the same way with like, I don't know, you have to opt into an email, so you could do the same with
do you have like a skip option? Because I like those where you can skip it, and then later on you activate it, like you said. Is that built in where you can like show it on by default, but then the user clicks skip and then they can activate it later?
It's not like a preset thing right now, in that you can skip the tour, but then you would need to have a button in your app to
but I didn't even but I was like, let's screen share again. I wasn't sure if I saw a skip button.
I will read
all.
this comment. Hey.
And hey, Gabby, it's been a long time. It's good to have you back. I think it's been a long time. Am I remembering correctly?
Yeah,
I mean, long time. Let's see here, because if I do preview, open, and then there's a skip. So it's just the X.
Just the X.
Yeah.
And then you get out of it, and then I could have a little button up here that says like, show me how to use the product or something like that.
And if you go back to the tour admin screen there at the top, in that tour, at the top right, there's kind of that little code brackets thing. And this is just going to be like a little button, code for a button, which has a data attribute that you can have to like start the tour. So it just has data attribute or data hopscotch ID, and then you can have it as a button. So if you put that, this is how we're doing it on our website, then yeah, that should.
But will it work because we're in React land? Should it work even though we're in there?
Should let's see there. So
well, I didn't properly reload, so maybe the hot. There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
It was just like the hot reloading for Gatsby
Yeah.
probably didn't like kick that script off again.
Yeah. Yeah, so
so
that's one thing you can do is and kind of place that in a in somewhere that users are going to be searching for help. I often recommend, like, product tours are not the only thing that you should have as like an onboarding tool in your tool belt. Kind of what you were saying at the start of, like, when you logged into Hopscotch, having a good empty state, because, like, instead of just an empty list, you can have instructions, a guide there to be like, this is how you get started. That's like a good pattern. I think if you, depending on what level of support you want to offer, being able to live chat is something you could consider. I don't personally have live chat. We make it easy for it to email us, but like we don't have live chat for, just because the pricing of our product doesn't make that a viable option, really. We're trying to just,
and I hate it when live chat is not live chat. You're like, yes, I want help right now, and then you click it, you type in your chat, and then it's like, oh, it was an email. Well, then I would have said more than like, hey, can you help me?
Yeah.
Like you formulate an email a little bit and suddenly it's off and you're like, oh, I gotta go reply to this email. It's like, if you have a live chat button, please be there. And if not, I'll email you, no problem. But do not trick me.
I'm with you on that. And yeah, hence not wanting to, like, fake offering this level of support that we can't, like, make possible. Yeah. So, but yeah, like with emails, we get back fairly quickly. And then, so providing some way for people to get in touch with you, offering, just docs within your product is a good strategy as well. Like, you can see the help button just goes through to our docs, and it's not the most fanciest of docs. It's a Notion page that has some guides to get started, but the more people ask about, we just fill those out with information.
So then, because I did ask and then we forgot, and let's go back to that, how do I change the color? Because that is obviously the most important thing. How do I change the color so that it's not blue? It works with this product, but let's say another product, it needs to be red.
Actually, if you go back to the docs there, because I'm going to refresh my own memory here. Is it the browser SDK? Yeah, if we click open on that one, then we can go down to the Hopscotch configuration. It should be pretty quick down below. And here we can adjust all the styles. And so you can call window.hopscotch init and set your styles.
So I'll have to do that in a use effect then, I am guessing.
Yeah, you can do that within app. Exactly.
So not highlight. We do hop. I cannot spell it for the life of me. Like, let me see now. Like hopscotch.
I'll read these comments again now. Okay.
Yeah.
So has it been a long time? Yes, indeed. A year, give or take. Whoa! But she says looks cool, so I'm thinking that she's talking about me, or
definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Or is it Hopscotch, or is it Prune Your Follows? It's not.
Maybe all of the above.
This whole experience is pretty cool looking, I'd say.
Because we just got stats from YouTube. And then we have 50% female viewers, which is pretty high for a tech
cool.
show. Yeah. And like we had a friend here coming over from England for a conference, and he's got 100% male. 100% male, which is not so surprising, really. Oh, look at this. And look at this. Look at this.
It's Ola, and that was I was like, it's probably because of me. That's why the female viewership is so high. Yeah. I was like, yeah, definitely.
Let's see,
So
we don't
like,
have the color. Let's check out the code again and see.
well,
She
I
says
just
both
wrote red.
projects,
I
both
tested
projects. Yeah.
with.
I think you need styles
Oh
to,
yeah, styles. Yeah.
and it's within that, I believe.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting seeing, because we haven't gotten audience stats before because we haven't had enough audience. So that was kind of funny to see that, and I don't know where they're getting that information from, but because we also all of our viewers are between 25 and 35, and we are pretty certain that we have some viewers over the age of 35.
Yeah.
But they are into that bracket.
So I'm thinking
So,
that YouTube is making guesses here from
yeah.
your viewing history, because I have not given YouTube my am I a man or whatever, or
But
age or anything.
It's Google, so
So they're probably selling me as a female, 18, real good looking, and
okay,
to
stop before
their
you say
customers.
something. Just zip it.
so that's
Zip
that's
it.
that could be the reason. It could.
It could, but we'll just stop on that, that direction.
But on the other hand,
I'm not kidding.
On Scott's show, they have 100% male, so they can't be doing that kind of phony baloney on everybody.
Yeah. We just take the stats and we're happy with them. Okay,
Yeah,
styles,
okay.
highlight color. Maybe I need to actually use some color. Or
yeah, let's see. Yeah, it might need to be the hex code value.
I am big on just HTML. Let's do the Indian red then.
Yeah.
Could it be that it's not loaded yet? No, because you did the queuing thing.
Yeah, it should set up. This could be, yeah. I know I have this elsewhere.
Well, let me see something that's on the first.
It was blue.
Yeah, but let's do primary button background color, so it's easier to see right away that we're changing the color.
Right.
And I said we were going to do a short one, and but I'm feeling you don't want to leave this until it actually works. Let's see if I'm getting some error codes, like if I wrote hopscotch wrong, something like that. Because the only thing I'm thinking is that we're doing the init here is happening too late.
Right.
Because I think because I also think the third-party scripts with Gatsby, they said something like on load, on error callbacks. Well, that's for external scripts.
Yeah, this might be something we have to check out if it's like a Gatsby specific issue. I believe the way that I've done it in the past has also been in a use effect, just like what you're doing.
Yeah, the only thing I'm thinking though is that like now that we're using the script and we're putting it kind of into the JSX like this instead of using on, because before I kind of probably would have done the on render body here inside of the oh, I forgot to put which file this is on. I think this is the Gatsby SSR and Gatsby browser. No, the Gatsby SSR. You could add scripts to the head components.
Right.
So it will happen. But also, there is something here. Script with sources, because this is an inline script. So because there's post hydrate, which is default, and it's idle. Loads after the pages become idle off main thread. Yeah, post hydrate is probably correct. Let's see, console. I mean, I could have written something wrong. I am pretty It's hard to see. It's hard to debug.
Right.
Let's see. Just make sure we're getting, yeah, it says color. Okay, let me go back here and copy paste properly. Window, hopscotch, init, styles. You might have to figure this out off stream.
Yeah, it might
Yeah.
be a peculiar bug.
Oh, no, look, it works.
Okay.
I think I've written styles wrong. Let's see. Styles. No, I hadn't. Well, now it works at least when I copy pasted. I'd written something wrong, I think.
Shouldn't. No, we shouldn't. Sorry.
But it's getting a weird color though, because I'm getting
Right. Yeah, that is like see-through.
but at least it's changing something.
Well,
it's
you're
not
giving me
changing the
something
color.
to look into here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take that one offline and pretend it didn't happen.
I mean, I'm always happy when this show turns into somebody creating a Jira or a GitHub issue or like putting something on the backlog. I always feel like we've accomplished like something.
Yeah.
You get something out of it. We get something. It's all good.
Yeah. That's what we want.
That's what we want. We do want to see your dog before you leave.
Yes, dog. Lilian, nå skal hunden komme. Kom deg,
I
Lilian.
will go get him. I'm gonna go get him.
Do that.
Lilian har lyst til Lilian wants to show us a drawing. Var det ikke en tegning du ville vise, Lilian? Ta så viser meg den, du.
Enhjørningkatt.
Skal jeg holde den?
Det er hemmelig hvordan jeg lager det.
Hopp opp.
She's made a unicorn cat.
Ja. Viser den.
Hvor er kameraet? Der,
Der er hunden! Vent da. Oi.
This is Grandpa.
Hvorfor må alle ha hund?
She says, why must everybody have a dog?
But not her.
She wants a dog. His name is Grandpa?
Yeah, this is Grandpa. He's waking up from a nap right now.
Yeah.
I'm kind of mad at him because I thought he'd be watching the stream.
Yeah.
But, he had no interest. He only wanted to be part of it if he was on camera, he said.
There's some Norwegian streamers that we know, and they have a dog cam. So they have like the thing where the dogs sleep. They have a cam on that, and then they lie there sleeping the whole stream, and they just roll over, and everybody in the chat goes, "Oh, look, they roll over!"
That's a great strategy. That's a guaranteed booster in your viewers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Very cute.
A good onboarding tip too. Just have a dog.
Cute.
On screen.
Absolutely.
I should have started. See, I'm ending with the dog. Should have started with
the dog. So we usually do like a plug section. Do you have anything other than Hopscotch that you would like to plug?
At the moment, not really, to be honest. Yeah, it's Hopscotch is the main thing, and I'm working on some other projects, but nothing yet. So I guess if you want to follow along, what might be next would be mostly on Twitter. I'm not super active. I kind of bounce between using it and not using it. But yeah, at Sloan Cam is my Twitter handle, and
you
would love to chat with anyone on there.
And you will find it in the description of this show if you want to see a direct link to Cam Sloan. And we have a little bit of an announcement, which is around Prune follows, because we just this week have gotten a project with Xata, which is a database company, and we will be relaunching Prune follows with SATA as the backend and NextAuth for the authentication. And Gatsby, so it's going to be a fun combo. Gatsby, SATA, and NextAuth, and we're going to be launching that at the beginning of November, powered by SATA, and we'll be streaming work on that next week and then again in 2 weeks. And you get to follow along, everyone.
Lily really wants to show off her drawing.
Okay, let's do that.
I just realized that SATA, it's like data. So it's maybe Sata.
Sånn.
Maybe they said Sata.
Hvorfor
I'm like,
er den
Sata.
helt
Nå kommer det.
stille? Men ikke
I'm more like
den.
Sata.
Sata! Sata.
So you'll be seeing us do a lot more with them in
Oh,
the future.
Here's the drawing. Up.
Let's see.
Whoa, that's awesome.
It's a unicorn cat.
Well, of course.
I'm gonna make you too big because
Blah,
then you
blah,
can.
blah,
Oh, I
blah,
should do
blah,
the
blah, blah,
summary.
blah.
Let's do the summary before I forget.
And it's
Now we did. See, now I'm so tired. I'm doing like crazy things. Okay, so today we added hopscotch to our Prune Your Follows, and we even have now a little launch core button over here that maybe doesn't work anymore because I screwed something up.
Maybe it's the hot reload thing, eh? Or
Yeah,
it's
I think
not
that's
working.
it. Yeah, I don't know. But to do that, we use not one of these third-party scripts with Gatsby options that I wrote about way back in January.
Yeah.
We used a new Gatsby script tag and added the script to our app page. And I created a little component that does it, so it's neat and tidy. And since it's an inline script, we can use the script tag, but then we'll need to use a string temporal literal. This syntax here to include the script. So what we did is we copy pasted it from the hopscotch page, and then we added the little curly bracket with the little thingy, and the script is within that. And after we'd done that, we jumped on over to the hopscotch product, and we created a tour to let people know how they could use the product. Let's see if it want to work when we do the preview. So let's unfollow, and then we have show me, and we see the tabs, and then we say open on Twitter and unfollow, which is like the biggest thing to know at this point. And that was it. It was for a click. We kind of did the work in like 10 minutes, but here we are, and it's been an hour, and it's been lovely to see everybody in the chat. And now we'll do our outro. Any last minute
Lilian.
remarks? Cam?
No, thank you so much for having me. It's been great. I loved every minute of it.
I'm happy. That's what we try. Bringing some joy into the web development. Are you ready for your outros, family?
She says she doesn't want to go.
Yeah,
she
loves
to stay
it when,
here on the loft.
She wants the streams to continue for hours and hours because that means she doesn't have to go to bed. But tell her it's going to happen now, or she's not going to be a part of the outro.
Lilian, kom da. She's doing some important work with stickers.
Okay. Do you have any favorite stickers? Do you have stickers on your laptop? Are you like a sticker person?
Okay, so I was just telling this story the other day of like, I have a friend who put so many stickers on his laptop, and I was like, oh, cool, I'm gonna go put a sticker on mine. And that was like on one of my last laptops. And after I went to go like sell this laptop, I took the sticker off, and it had like this outline of the sticker on it, like from the sun, I guess, or something.
Yeah,
and it just couldn't get it off. And so since then, I have not put stickers on my laptop, but I have like this drawer of like, what is it? Like I put stickers on this. Everyone needs a sticker thing, so I just put stickers on this like drawer set that I have. That is, that's where all my stickers go. Because I don't know.
But what's your favorite?
My favorite sticker?
Yes.
Oh man.
Well, then they're not gonna make some stickers for Jamstack.conf, so they want inspiration.
Okay, well here's a Jamstack.conf one actually.
Oh, I have that one.
Yeah, I was a
Jam
in 2018, I think, and
jealous.
Yeah, it was
I'm
super
so
fun.
jealous.
And yeah, but you're going shortly, isn't it? October at some point. You're going to Jamstack. Am I?
It's
mistaken?
beginning of November. Yeah.
November.
It's beginning
Okay.
of November.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be cool to go again. I love.
I have some.
California
I have
is
some
great.
really nice discount tickets that I can give away if you want to go.
Well,
you can DM me after the show.
yeah, let's see if the timing works out. It would be very cool to go back and catch up with some people there.
Yeah, I think it's November 7th and November 8th. No, or only November 7th and 8th. I think I'm speaking on the 8th. Yeah, I'm speaking on the Tuesday. It's Monday and Tuesday.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's super
Okay.
cool.
Then we're ready for the outro. Let me see if I can get the correct layout. There we go.
Just told her that I turned off the sound and she was like, "Bugger."
It's a silent.
She's going to play with this. Okay? 1, 2, 3. We did a Gatsby treasure hunt with plug-in Queen Raae. And our guest was Cam Sloan. Junior Devs Lilla Ola.
And then we wave awkwardly.